In this video, I want to go over my transcription of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah for classical guitar. Now, first off, I want to point out that I'm using a capo, and that's on the 2nd fret. I suggest you do the same, though it's not 100% necessary. We start the song with a G chord, though it's not a full G. It just needs 2 fingers, as you can see on the tab. I play that. Then I play again, and this time I'm doing a pull-off. Though a pull down might be a better way to describe it. I pull the finger down into the 1st string. Now, you don't have to do that. If that's new to you, you can simply play the strings like that. Still sounds good. 2nd measure, all open. Then a reverse arpeggio, ring middle index. And then I've got the same measure here. Measure 3 is the same as 1. 4 starts the same as 2 with an E minor, but the rhythm's slightly different there. The melody starts here, and then I'm into it. And that can be done with alternating fingers in the right hand. Index in the middle, alternating on that melody. Same there on that open E minor. Now this I might recommend that you do an alternation with the M, and then you play this bass note with the thumb and the 1st string with the ring. That sets you up to get this little harmony note that you're going to see right there. I'm into a C chord, bass note by itself again, and then a part of a D, right there, you can see that, going there, and then back to this G, which is really a G5, and it comes back time and time again. Then we have part of a D. And that takes us through the 1st page. Now, in the 2nd page, we start off with that same chord again, into a C chord. Now we have a full D chord, and you can see the fingering I would choose there. I wouldn't do it as a bar. I would probably do 1st, 3rd, and then 2nd. And the reason is because then I can just slide the 2nd finger up. And that's the only finger I need for that next chord. We're on measure 15 here. So I get that. Then I lift it up, which is nice. It gives me a chance because the next one's going to be a bar. I'm barring 5 strings there. And you can see with that, I've got the 1st finger holding down the 5th and the 1st string, and then the 2nd and the 3rd to play on the 5th fret of the 3rd and the 2nd string. Right? And that gives me a different type of C chord. And I need my 4th finger free because it's going to tuck in here and play on the 5th fret right there. So that gives me my melody. Then I lift it back up, and you're going to slide up. This is a type of D chord. I've got my 1st finger, no need for a bar on this one. I've got my 1st finger on the 5th fret, 2nd and 3rd again. They can kind of slide up, right, as I move. So you can see that that's what's called a guide finger, right? So I'm going between this and this chord. So that makes for a nice smooth transition there. Right, so then again, and no changes for the whole measure. It's just the same left hand pattern. Now I'm going to play a full bar. right? So you can see that there. Right, and the fourth finger there is playing the melody note. Get my fingers out of the way. Right there. So that takes us halfway through that barred section. I'm still holding down the 7th fret, as you can see, with a full bar, but now going into an E minor. Another pull off there, optional as well. And I use the 4th finger, I pull off, and then the 4th finger moves in and tucks in there so that it can get to. So you can see that it moves there and tucks in. At that point, I'm ready to lift up my bar. And I'm playing the melody that's taking me into the chorus. This, I do a C chord, but I add a G on the bass so that it's nice and full. And I'm rolling those chords using all my fingers there. So I'm getting a real fast roll, like that. And then I put them back so that I can arpeggiate. So it's just that same chord, and then at the end, a little melody note. And then the E minor rolled. Trying to bring out that melody note a little bit there. So I just give it a little bit of an accent. Back to that jumbo C chord. Same thing as the previous measure, or sorry, the previous line. Now we're on to something new. This is a G chord. Right, but I only do the bottom part, just the 6th and the 5th string part of the G chord. My first finger is free, then it can play that melody note. I do those notes with my thumb, then index on the 4th string, thumb, first finger comes down, and then I jump over. This is a type of D chord. Right? And that takes us to the end of the 2nd page. All right, now for the second half, I put in a little interlude. It captures a little bit of the Jeff Buckley version of this song, which I really love. So I wanted to include kind of an homage to that, so you can hear the bass line movement there. It starts with just one finger down. It's a G chord of sort, but I only need the 6th string down. And then a walking bass. I use my middle finger. Those are all open. And then that walk back. And then this is a little tricky. I'm playing the 2nd fret and the 3rd fret. You can see that there. All right, so now we get into the verse. And what you'll notice is I'm doing a G chord again, but this time it's a little different. It's not that same one we saw before. I also have to hold down the 5th string there. And so I get this rolling thing going in the bass while the melody is on top. Right? And the two together sound pretty cool. So I hold my G chord. I don't have to change anything in my left hand. I don't need anything on the 1st string either. Right, so you can see the left hand was perfectly still. The right hand's doing everything. And the thumb's doing that bass line. And I do the index finger on the 3rd string. Let's see that again. So that's kind of cool there. And then we change to the E minor. This time I am holding the full E minor chord down. Right, so you can see that there. And then no changes in the left hand once I have the E minor. Right, and again I use the thumb for the 6th, 5th, and 4th. And the index finger for the 3rd. Back to my G. And then I've got the E minor again. Finally, I have some little variation. I have my little finger come down here at the end of the line, right? And then I'm into a C chord. Right, so I get that C. Again, I don't have to do anything in the left hand. I just hold a regular C chord. The right hand is really where the magic happens. The thumb is again playing this time the 5th and the 4th, and then I have my index, middle, and ring just sitting on those top 3 strings. And anytime one of those strings is needed, I can play them. So it's right, so it's good to go there. Then I change to a D chord. Alright, so we're good there. Back to a G. And then this D chord, which is not my favorite D chord, but it gives it a little fuller sound. It's a little bit of an awkward one because I have to move my 4th finger down to the 5th string. My 2nd finger's up there on the 2nd string, and then the 1st and 3rd in between. So it's a bit of a stretch. Looks kind of like a C chord, right? That was moved up 2 frets. Now this is cool. So at the end of this line, you'll notice I have you playing the 2nd finger, and then we go back to that familiar G chord, that G5 that we started with, but this time we're playing it a little differently. I've got the 1st finger now on the 6th string and the 2nd one on the 2nd string. And the reason I do that is because the transition so much easier. I can leave that down. It's called an anchor finger. Right? And play that way. Gets a real nice connection. So again, the left hand's not doing a lot. And the right hand is doing the lion's share. Right? Thumb on the bass note, and then index, middle, ring, 1 for each of those 3 notes. To a C, to a D. Now this is just like before, so I won't go over it in too great of detail. I can tell the video is running long as it is. Again, I've gone from the D, I've slid up my 2nd finger like I did before, a guide finger. Then I get into my bar. And then I slide over as guide fingers, the 2nd and the 3rd. Then I'm in my full bar at the 7th. And then I'm changing into that E minor with a pull off. So it's exactly the same. Then I get a break. Open string allows me to shift down. And then I've got my jumbo C chord. The only thing different here is I added a couple of notes on beats 4, so that instead of, you get a little more oomph on beat 4. And I also made it dynamically louder, so you'll notice a forte, because it's kind of the climax. Right, I can see. Here's my G. And then this is a lot like the introduction. Difference would be at the first measure there, there's no 2nd string, so that we can hear the resolution of the melody. And then this measure is different, and then a little bit of a slowdown, and then I roll that. So again, the technique on that, which I should comment on because it comes up in the choruses as well, is I plant my fingers on the top 3 strings that I'm playing, right? So 4th, 3rd, and 2nd. I've got them sitting there. And then on the bottom, I play the thumb, and I actually have the thumb roll, so it's playing 2. And it's a little bit of a roll, but it's fast. I can do it as a block if I want, and still have the technique with that, right? But I want to roll it like that. right, so I hope that helps. Make sure to rewind, replay any sections that you're not 100% clear on. And also you can watch the videos where I'm playing and watch each hand with its close-ups to hopefully answer any questions. All right, thanks a lot.